Two icons in media shut off their mics in closing out 2010. Here to talk about the impact of Oprah Winfrey and Larry King. You guys are laughing already. I like that. Shut their icons in the media. You're the two professors. Okay, right. Rich Hanley from Quinnipiac, Bilal Sekou, University of Hartford. Okay. Two of our pundits and guys who really know both media and politics and business and all kinds of things. It's good to have you on.
Thanks,
about 5 minutes, rock and roll real quick. Two big icons, Oprah, Larry King. Not you two guys. The impact of Oprah first and foremost.
Oh, she's one of the most popular women, obviously, in the world. I mean, one of the best well-known people. She has been a pioneer in the media and entertainment. And
what keyed her success? A lot of folks have talk shows, right? What makes her iconic?
She has an authentic relationship with the audience. The audience genuinely likes her, and she genuinely likes her audience, and she always respected her audience, and that respect over time evolved into what really is a beloved relationship where the audience sees her and they see someone they love. She sees them, she loves them, and as she shook up broadcast TV with her show, she's poised to shake up cable TV with her network.
How so?
She's going to approach cable TV in a different way because she takes risks. And they need to take risks in order to succeed.
Absolutely.
Particularly in this man. And she's very smart and savvy about media and what the audience wants. So I don't know the exact details of what her network will do over time, but I will say it will shake up the cable environment for the better, I think.
We took a risk having you two guys on at the same time. Big risk for us at the same time. Huge risk. Now listen, here's what I like about Oprah. She knew when to step aside. You know how hard it is to step aside when you're still in your prime, to step aside and say, I had enough? Enormous. No one does that.
Yeah, well, she has something to step aside too.
Right.
I think that played a role in her. She's going to. I mean, her empire is pretty substantial now.
But she could have done both. She could have done both real quick.
She's a very powerful life story as well that I think really connects with a lot of people, and she's been a role model and someone that people have chased after in their own lives in terms of trying to emulate. And so, very just an incredible story, incredible life story.
The other icon who, quite frankly, didn't step away on his own, Larry King, was sort of pushed out, truth be told, right?
Sure.
Ratings were sliding, older audience. His impact.
Yeah. I mean, late night, master. I mean, his show is a show I grew up watching, a lot. The people he interviewed, from politicians to entertainers. I mean, just great interviews. I mean, he wasn't the toughest sort of interviewer, but, certainly he had a platform that people paid attention to.
Well, that's unfair. Let me ask you a question, though. That knock about not being tough, I think Oprah got that and King got that. And, I watched them as a journalist, and, they had the sofa, so it's a very comfortable place to be. But they always asked the right questions. I mean, you weren't getting Mike Wallace, but you were getting a comfortable environment. But I can't say I watched King or Oprah where they didn't ask a question that I wanted to hear. It may have been done in a very flowery way, but not confrontation.
But part of it is they created a space in which people could come on and talk. And I think their style, their approach really encouraged people to really say a lot of things they probably wouldn't have said if it had been a more adversarial kind of an interview.
It's more of a conversation. Conversationalists as opposed to people who are looking for a confrontation. So they would ask the tough questions, but they would do so in the sense that the discourse was part of just two regular people talking about something over dinner or at a bar. And so you got the sense that the questions were soft, when actually the format was one of conversation.
The issue of media now, the phenomena of WikiLeaks. You have an organization leaking out secret documents around the world. Is it good for journalism? Bad for journalism?
I'll let you start with
I mean, it's embarrassing for journalism.
Why?
I think first and foremost because a lot of the information that's been posted on WikiLeaks is stuff that journalists probably knew but never bothered to pursue officially or unofficially. So in many ways it's an embarrassing moment because some of the stories could have been pursued through conventional journalistic mechanisms but weren't. So I think the journalism profession has a little egg on its face because it could have taken these documents, for example, or taken knowledge of these documents and put the context to it, which WikiLeaks does not do. It's just a straight data dump. And the role of the journalist is to take information and put context and depth to it. And I am sure that the working journalists in foreign capitals, for example, or in diplomatic circles covering the State Department were well aware of the content of these messages, not because they saw them, but because they heard about them at cocktail parties, but they never pursued the stories.
And it also exposes the spin given journalists, right? You see the real truth going on in the emails, and then the spin being put out there on the news platform. So that's why I think it's healthy that you're seeing, speaking truth with power means seeing things in their unfettered form. Now, this issue to censor, what do you guys think about that? The issue to censor all this?
I think it's great for democracy. I think WikiLeaks, what they've done is they have really given us, the American people, some insight into how our government works, how some decisions are being made, and also the contradictions between what we're told by our government and what they're actually telling each other.
Some may say lies.
Exactly.
So it's a very diplomatic way to say that.
Very diplomatic way.
I'm trying to be diplomatic.
You work for the State Department?
30 seconds. Segue. Dan Malloy. New stuff going on in Connecticut. New governor coming in. A lot of things on his plate. What do you think we'll see with the Malloy administration?
I think what's going to happen over the next several months is some real difficult wrangling between Malloy and the Democratic legislature over this budget deficit.
It's his party, though, right?
$3.6 billion budget deficit. That's going to be hard to try to do something about.
One-party rule, good or bad?
It's not good in the sense where if you have a very strong one-party ruling, they can ram things through. But the Democrats tend to be a fractious lot. But I think the governor-elect has a considerable amount of pain that he has to spread around to a lot of people. And his role is going to be to communicate how the pain is being spread so people aren't feeling the sense that they're being punished in some way, like state employees or teachers' unions who are going to have their budgets cut because of it.
Who are his supporters, too. Real quick, Chris Dodd, what's next for him? 15 seconds?
That's a good question.
Take a quick guess. Where does he go next? Ambassador? Is he business?
I think he's going to go somewhere. He's going to stay in Washington, I think, after some time off. And I think he'll find his way into the administration. Not sure what he'll be doing, but certainly I think that's somewhere in his future.
Yeah, I think he'll stay in Washington, maybe get a job at a university as a professor of politics.
More professors. What we need.
That's what the world needs.
Take a lot of risk here, guys. You guys out here. All right, thanks to all our guests, DJ Bugs, June Archer, Rich Hanley, and Bilal Sekou. You can send your show comments or requests or watch us again at ctnow.com and friend us on Facebook. Become a fan of the Stan Simpson Show. We're on Twitter, too. Look out for the tweets in 211. Lori Perez and The Real Story are next for the good folks here at Fox, Connecticut. I'm Stan Simpson. See you next week.